Well, good afternoon and welcome to this round 3 clash of the 2018 GPS rugby season. Today we are live from Brisbane State High School's playing fields, where the home of the Brisbane State High School team are hosting Gregory Terrace in what should be a high-quality encounter for this year's Old Boys Day. My name is Michael Chettle, and joining me in commentary this afternoon is my old mate Nick Davaniza. Nick, good afternoon.
G'day, Chets. How are you, mate? Great to see you again. A beautiful date here out of Brisbane State High School. The 100th anniversary season of the GPS, round 3, about to get underway very soon.
And we're going to have a look at last week's games, some high-quality games, Nick, and you're going to talk us through every single minute of the action.
Round 2 of the GPS off to an absolute flyer. The competition averaging about 50 points per game at the moment. This one here, Jungle Bennett running away like a thief in the night. 60 metres to arrest starting the flying for Magic College. They end up getting a win 49-25 in round 2. Next match, Brisbane Grammar School hosting Brisbane Boys College. Just a great little backline movement. Cart Gordon, Shaden Stevens, Jack Boyer, finally Jack Kelly's number 8, and in basic time offload put away Xavier Sage, sprint champion, Queensland Infantry's away in the corner, with a nice win, 7 points difference. And the Southwood School up against this today's opposition, Brisbane State High School. Wonderful right foot kick from Hannaford, putting Dion Samuela away in the backfield for a lovely try, 37-5 difference in the backline there at Terrace. And up the range, this absolute classic between Toowoomba Grammar School and Ipswich Grammar School. It came down to a tied game in the final minute with this Alistair Cameron try, with a kick from Jake Sargood still to come, the match sitting on the line. Line up. Beautiful strike right over the black dot. You watch his teammates swamp him right now. A 27-25 win, I think it was. Fantastic stuff from Toowoomba Grammar School, going undefeated in their opening match of the round. So a quick recap, Chets. Nudgee College sitting at second on the table, equal first, 49-25 win over Terrace. That's a big one. Brisbane State High School, beautiful sights. Look at that, incredible stuff. But on the southboard, Brisbane Boys College, Nudgee College, and the Southboard School all tied upon 4 points each. Toowoomba Grammar School and Ipswich Grammar School a single win apiece. They're going to be sitting in the mid-table, and then it's a lengthy tail. Oh,
you're exactly right, Nick. Look, looking at that and looking at the results from last week, even though some of the scores did blow out a touch, I think there's a really competitive competition. 1 or 2 wins, and things get moved around like you wouldn't believe. Yeah,
that's right. It's very easy to shift. Well, of course, both winless teams today, Gregory Terrace and State High, that will get a chance to change.
Look at these stats coming out. We had a quick look at these before the stream, and I tell you what, there's some pretty even stats here, but I'm looking at the line breaks, and we've had a good chat about both the centre pairings this afternoon. I'm excited to see the centres, Dan Condon, to go against Francis Pona this afternoon with those line breaks. Who knows what can happen up the middle.
Yeah, both Queensland schoolboys are two, and that's going to be an excellent head-to-head clash. For me personally, I'm looking at the battle of the back threes. There's some excellent rugby league talent out wide, and they're going to be really exciting to watch, and I'm sure we're going to see those line breaks figures increase as we go on through the day.
I'm looking forward. And look at this, and this Coliseum, and here's Brisbane State High School's team.
Then the front row, Liston Tuffa, Tuimavave at loosehead prop, Nesta Mahina, the captain at hooker, and rounding out the front row at tight head, Brabin Williams. In the second row, Zeph Tuinona and Tom Duke. At number 6, Sam McKenzie. Number 7, Vian Joubert. And number 8, Chizzy Vaka. In the back line, Luke Waldy and Jackson Deacon, the halves. On the wings, Tau Tui Samoa and Denver Taylor on the wings. At fullback, Grant Tui Samoa. And in the centres, as we were saying, Francis Pona, the Queensland schoolboy, and Sam Silly.
Beautiful stuff. There we go. And let's look at Terrace's team this afternoon. In the front row, Emerson Treasure, our Melvin Mavega. Hudson Mulcahy, who was dynamite last week. Marley Batungan. Ben Clifford in the second rows. Torren Metasala Suapaia. Lewis Jorgensen, and the captain is Will Roach, who was dynamite last week as well. Will Kirk and Pat Elikana at fly half. Glenn Vehu and Keegan Vandenberg on the wings. Dan Condon, Mason Hill, and Quinn Ciola is in the fullback there. So I think we're going to see some points this afternoon. The crowd's getting big. So what are you expecting this afternoon?
Well, 2 changes there from this Gregory Terrace side. Keegan Vandenberg and Quinn Ciolo coming in for Riley C. and Monet Maafu, the latter of whom was injured with quite a serious shoulder injury after Nudgee's match. So I'm expecting to see a bit more firepower in this Terrace backline. Keegan Vandenberg especially with a great history himself, representing the Queensland Under-16 State of Origin team this year as its centre. He's weighing in at 90 kilos. He's going to pack some absolute punch on that right edge.
Very scary, I think. And when you walk past some of these players before, and we were talking about the size of some of these human beings, I'll tell you what, Nick, it's a long time since I've played, but you don't want to be running against. And look at the front row for Brisbane State High. Tuamavave, Mahina and Williams. Some big human beings out there, and I'm really interested to see this front row battle.
Yeah, huge front rows on both sides. Terrace weighing in at 320 kilograms. Brisbane State High weighing in at 317. Huge forward packs. State High weighing in at 108 kilograms a person. And Gregory Terrace 96. So a difference about 12 kilograms in favour of Brisbane State High. Conditions absolutely beautiful.
It's going to be an exciting afternoon. The crowd's building up, and obviously this is like the State High's Old Boys game today, Old Boys Day. So a lot of old faces walking around, a lot of old jerseys running around. So the barbecue's ready to go. It looks like a pretty good pitch out there, Nick, so it's going to be good for running rugby, I think.
Oh, it's a fabulous weather for it. Dry, fast. It's going to be a great game. And you just look around the place, you'll see the mascot carrying on a little bit. The sort of aerial aspect that you get as a spectator at this ground, you look down and you just get to soak up all that atmosphere and create some of it yourself. It's really going to be a special thing. We're so happy to bring it to you live and free from Brisbane State High School in South Brisbane.
We're also looking at a couple of other things this afternoon. Jackson Deacon on debut for the fly half for Brisbane State High. Look, imagine making your debut at Old Boys Day in round 3 of the 100th year of the competition. Hopefully this young lad doesn't get overruled by the situation, but let's see how he goes early.
Oh, a great little stat about Jackson Deacon. His dad was actually, he's from Canberra, the boy.
Yep.
His dad was flying up from Canberra earlier this week to watch him play today. He had no idea that Jackson would be promoted to the first 15 on Wednesday. So what a special occasion there for the Deacon family to watch their boy Jackson run out onto this main field. Round 3, Brisbane State High School hosting Gregory Terrace here in South Brisbane, whereas Southport School hosting Toowoomba Grammar School, one of the hardest road trips in the competition. Churchy playing host to Brisbane Grammar School on Oakland's Parade, and rounding out Ipswich Grammar School make a very tough trip to the infamous Ross Oval, the graveyard of so many schoolboy ambitions.
I think of the first 3 rounds, Nick, it's been really good competition. There's been a lot of really powerful matchups we've watched the last 2 weeks. And look, out of today's match, again, I keep going back to today's game. There's a lot of wheels, and we saw on the previews from last week's game, there's a lot of pace, I'll tell you what, in these wingers today.
Yeah, some incredible pace. Electric talents all throughout. This back 3, especially for Brisbane State High School, with Denver Taylor, Grant Tuisamoa, and Tau Tuisamoa. All 3 of those boys, 2 brothers, Grant and Tau, obviously, but a lot of rugby league pedigree there. Denver Taylor himself linked with Cowboys development squad. Grant Tuisamoa rumoured to be very close to line with the Broncos. So they're going to bring the fight to this Gregory Terrace outside backs, and that's probably going to be the most intriguing battle for today.
And it just goes to show the breeding ground. Doesn't matter what sport these guys go into and move on to. This rugby, this 15 GPS rugby competition breeds some really good people. And as we know, the history of these teams as well. There's so many names.
45 Wallabies I make between them. Michael Liner, Tony Shaw, Dibuani, Mark McBain, David Croft on the Gregory Terrace side. From State High, Matt Tamur, David Wilson, Simon Karevi, the Kefu brothers. Some wonderful pedigree, and we've seen so many of these wonderful athletes pumped out from both of these schools, and we're going to see some more today, there's absolutely no doubt. Jordan Patea was one who was playing just last year and took this sort of platform he launched himself onto with the GPS all the way into Super Rugby in his first year out of school. Maybe we'll see some more of that as well today.
And he didn't look out of place either playing his first year of Super Rugby. He was dynamite this year.
Spectacular. Great try last night for the Wallabies versus the Super Rugby select team. Wonderful try, rising above for Will getting a kick, playing down the corner. That was special. Looking at the history between Gregory Terrace and Brisbane State High School over the last 5 years, been pretty even, roughly split half apiece. Last year, Gregory Terrace won 32-12 on Internationals Oval. The previous year, here at this very Brisbane State High School Coliseum, State High won 22-12 in the pouring rain. The year before that, State High again. So 2 years in a row, they won 27-21, this time at Internationals Oval. And in 2014, Terrace, really thrilling 2-point win over State High at Carina.
Just looking at this field here, very different to where we've been in the past. It's that like we said, the Coliseum or the Cauldron kind of feel mentality where everyone's on top. It should be a good buzz for the players, just having everyone watching from above.
Yeah, exactly. A real sort of spectacle for them as well as for the audience. I mean, to be playing with your peers, your family, your friends all above you, no doubt a couple of girls in the crowd as well. It's just the best you can possibly get as a young man coming through and looking to make yourself or establish yourself as a rugby player. Looking out at this crowd, some young State High fans on the left. They're going to see one of their first experiences of first 15 rugby, no doubt. It'll be a very special clash. For Gregory Terrace supporters, owned the largest premiership winning streak of any school of 5-peat in the 1980s. There they are, snuck onto the field like a thief in the night. Didn't see them coming. Malvin Mavega, you can see him there in the centre of the tight head prop, weighing in at a staggering 120 kilograms, but he's only in the top 5. He's not the heaviest player in this competition this year. And
he probably runs the 40 metre at sub-zero, I would imagine. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster these days. So the Gregory Terrace team look very strong. Look, they looked strong for quite some time last week, Nick, but then Nudgy ran them down with some really slick backline moves. So wondering if Brisbane State High have done their research on that one as well.
Well, you've got to say the kryptonite for this Gregory Terrace team so far this competition, I think there's a team being summoned onto the field. Nesta Mahina loving it, the hooker. A 2-year Queensland schoolboys, his teammates getting around him. Spectacular images right from the heart of the Brisbane State High School Coliseum.
What about that one, Rob? If you've never played first 15 before, that's exactly what, as a young player, you want to come out to. You can see Nesta Mahina, the pumping up of that, and you can't tell me you can't run through a wall now.
Yeah, exactly. Every one of these players will be leaping at the opportunity to take it to Gregory Terrace. I'm feeling bloody pumped up. I'm ready to run.
Let's do it. Let's get this on. So you're exactly right. You can actually see the face of Nesta Mahina, like I just said, the pump up of it all. And here we go, the standoff right now for State High.
Ready for battle. The only way you can describe this site. Both teams winless going into this round 3 clash, but I guarantee one of them will come away with it today.
So here we go, round 3 of the competition. Both of the loss last week, both teams.
Young Will Kirk, the halfback of Gregory Terrace, midway through his second season of first 15 rugby, a Queensland schoolboy. He'll get us underway. So
kick off here, the nice and high. Number 7 is Joubert going up very early. Knock on play advantage, says the referee. Here's the big fella again at number 8 today, Metasula Soapia. So I think last week, Nick, we were talking about the big number 8, trying to get a bit more involved. He didn't get his hand on the ball much, but when he did, he was really dominant, getting on the gain line.
No, shut down by an absolutely elite defence this year in Nudgee College. State High and Terrace, neither side could probably claim to be that. They've led in 80 points and 73 points respectively this season. So there should be opportunities for guys like Tyrone Metasela Suapai to really run with the ball here. So Will Kirk with the feed of the ball. Great camera angle there, you feel. So Kirk with the feed. Elikana at fly half. Condon, the big fella, going through his short ball there on the outside of the number 14, and that's Taylor. And he's got to go all the way very early there, Nick. That's Mason Hill, the WA product, streaking away. We saw plenty of that last week. He had a wonderful run against Nudgee College, but certainly never like that. Star power from Gregory Terrace, putting straight through. I just want to talk about this one here, obviously with Will Kirk feeding the ball and Elikana. Last couple of weeks we've seen out the back play every single time, and then they've gone short. So last few weeks we've seen out the back door play every single time. This week they've gone short. Yes, it's very eyes up, heads up awareness from Dan Condon, hitting the right runner, running a wonderful line, and hitting that great big hole. Well, what a start. What a start. That's really silenced the crowd there this afternoon. 1 minute 30 gone in the game. Well, we were saying in our pre-match show, the scorelines this competition have racked up to 50.4 points per match, and we're off to a flying start again already. So been a sharpshooter this year, Will Kirk.
Kirk with the right foot, strikes it well. 7-0 after 2.5 minutes there, Nick, and I think just starting again, Terrace, as you said before, with State High, eyes up and tackle the man with the ball.
Looking out across this field, it looks like a little bit smaller than regulation, I have to say. That might be because of our wonderful camera angle. But it didn't look like you go far back to restart the game, did it?
So Jackson Deacon, the debutant, the kickoff. Kicking in the middle of the third of the field. Into the centre of the field, there's Vehu. Trying to run out of their own. 22 now. 1-on-1. Good tackle. Just a bit of safety first now from the Gregory Terrace team.
Hudson Mulcahy only knows one way, straight over the top.
So just off the 10-metre line, that's a great look. That's good. That's good start to and that's what you want to do after you score a try. You want to just get to the sideline and start all over again.
A nice left foot kick there from Dan Connan. It's always so handy having that left-footed kicking option. We're going to look at the line-out stats now. Both teams sitting exactly even at 64% success rate each. Their back fives line up at 185 centimetres average each. Obviously, Zeph Tuinona at the front there, a very handy target.
So that was Bradman Williams throwing the ball in. So on the outside is Suamoa. Good hit up again there by, is that Pona? Francis Pona. Waldy at scrum half, penalty there.
Will Roach over the ball. Such a factor of last week's game against Nudgee College was the breakdown presence of Will Roach, making it felt very clearly again. It's been all Terrace in his first 5 minutes. And
I think Will Roach was everywhere last week, like we said, but he needs a bit more support around the ball too. Here we go, they're going to run it. So it looks like Terrace is on a mission today to try to get on the outside of Brisbane State. Oh, the fend goes a bit high over the top of the ball. Kirk with a big truck there, bodies in motion. Good tackle by Bahina. Out to the right-hand side. Here's that man again, Mulcahy. He was dynamite last week, Nick. Sees there's no one there, just at the breakdown. Mahina again, busy. Will Kirk with a run.
Support slow to arrive, but just in time.
Mulcahy at hooker. He picks and goes. The two big hookers clash with each other. Mahina over the top of the ball. Referee says that's okay. Again, going on the number 8. Metasula Saipia. Just chipping away down this left-hand side of the park. Clean it over the top of the ball. Out the back door this time. Trying to get numbers on. Well hit by State High. I missed the number there, Nick, but I'm sure.
Tom Duke, the second rower, converted number 8.
One more time. Get on the outside. Look out. Numbers there, but State High got numbers on the ball. Waldy. Again, just taking their time. Nick, this is where we see the younger players now. This is where they've come across the last few years. Just that patience with the ball in hand, not trying to score off every single phase. So Kirk directing traffic again.
Nestor Mahina all over that ball. He's going to get that penalty, not releasing. And a timely turnover for Brisbane State High School, just annulling that pressure that Terrace have been starting to build up and impose upon their line. A big play from the captain. And Mason Hill here. Ferocious. Sit down, son.
We're having nightmares of that right arm fend for days now. So, to Samoa with a great kick. Doesn't find touch, which is absolutely a sin. The big fella again. That's our big mate. Rumbling up the middle.
Making his first 15 debuts today, the 90-kilogram Keegan Vandenberg.
Out again, middle third of the field, just trying to calm things down. He's met with a big... That's Tuamavei. So they're trying to spin this ball a little bit here, Nick, trying to get the... again, they're going from left to right. There's not much action in the middle of the field so far. And Mulcahy there drops the ball. Good strip.
There's a strip, but it's gone forward.
I don't think that, just looking at how Terrace are playing at the moment, they're shifting the ball left to right and trying to get around the Brisbane State High School. But as you were saying in the pre-match, there's some wheels on this Brisbane State High School team.
Well, I think it's actually a great attempt by Terrace to go through. You see the work putting in by Hudson Mulcahy, who's had 4 or 5 carries already in just about as many minutes. He's been very influential in straightening up this attack and punching through the line. Both teams scrummaging roughly even. 4% the difference on not many scrums. It'll be a great battle as this match wears on. Those big bodies start to tire.
So Kirk with the feed, held in there. Out to Elikana. Inside ball run, and easily by Joubert, wrapped up. He read that well. Again, Elikana again. Stepping off his right, stepping off his left. Contact to Deacon. The two tens clashing early. Big truck one more time, going right up the middle there.
This is what we wanted to see from Tyrone Metasela-Suapaia.
Kirk out the back door again. Good low tackle, but no numbers on the ball there for State High. So again, pick up and drive. Referee says play on, that's okay. That time, no.
Second time, away.
Lewis Jorgensen probably thought he was entitled to put the ball down, pick up and play it again, rugby 7 style. This referee Lockie Goal not having a bar of it. It's certainly warm out there, that's for sure. Not 30 degrees, but not too far off it.
So here we go. This is one of the first real opportunities now that State High have had in the first 8 minutes in Gregory Terrace's half. So again, we have Brad Williams throwing in the tight head prop. Up goes to Inona. Out to Deacon. Out to Pona. He's been wrapped up. Very good tackle. No numbers on the ball there except for Deacon. Yeah, that's right. Get out of there, son, he says. Vucker.
Jurgensen out of the line quickly for a good hit.
Vucker's still got the ball. He's on the middle of the cricket pitch.
There it is. The pressure from Jurgensen transforms into a Terrace penalty. Special work denying State High at this early stage.
It's interesting that the numbers on the ball for both teams, they haven't had many numbers on the ball. There's been a hit and roll away, but there's opportunities there for cheeky number 7s.
Jack Goal apologised, not Lockie Goal.
So finds touch this time.
Just shy of the 40-metre line.
Righto, Nick. So do they go straight up the middle again where we saw Mason Hill and Dan Connon combining before? Or so?
Well, the 195 centimetre figure of Zeph Tuinona going up. Roach is going to take it cleanly at 7.
So Kirk again. Out the back door. That one hits the dirt, which is not good. So Condon now shifts it out. Good contact. I'll tell you what, Pona, he says, come here, you.
Quincy Olo on his debut game, picking out a Queensland Schoolboys midfielder. Probably not the best decision he's made today.
Hope he learns from that. Again, Kirk, been busy this afternoon already. The big fellas now trying to get numbers at the breakdown again. That's good work by Terrace. But numbers on the left-hand side for State High, beg your pardon. Another rumble. Out the back, bit deeper this time here. Want a bit more depth. And that's Ben Clifford with a big rumble up the middle again. Out the back. There, good soft hands there by Ciolo.
Hold.
So there's numbers there again there, I'll tell you, Nick, but no, Gregory Terrace do get numbers to the breakdown.
Some excellent support play happening where Terrace are able to just keep punching onto this ball and really at no risk. It takes a special effort from State High to win it back.
And that was a cheeky little inside ball there to big Tyrone Metasela-Suapaia.
Go back to the replay. Quincy Olo putting Glenn Vehu. Oh, this is the shot. Francis Pona putting Ciolo into his pocket. I'm sure we'll be able to bring up the possession stats in not too much time, but gee, it's been all Terrace, hasn't it? Just haven't let Brisbane State High have a sniff so far, 11 minutes into this match.
And the interesting part about it is that State High have also been very patient in their defence as well.
Yeah, a number of runs, 185 through 2 games at about point 0.2, I suppose. 5 offloads, 12 line breaks, the stats. And it looks like they might chalk up some more of those today if State High keep letting Terrace have their way with the defence.
So Will Kirk at about 25, 30 metres out. Strikes it. Makes no mistake, Will Kirk. 10-0 Terrace over State High, 12 minutes gone.
Oh, it's a no-nonsense, simple, sharp, and effective kicking style, you've got to say. There's not a lot of room for error in that swing. Why don't you make a good golfer?
He's probably one of those people that can do any kind of sport. They're the people I don't like that much. So Jackson Deacon, he probably won't want to do too many more of these today on his debut. Kickoff goes deep. Hits the deck, that's not what you want.
Too deep, out in the full. It's going to go back to halfway for a Terrace penalty, I believe.
Now, in this day and age, they're those little mistakes that you don't need to have, and the pressure goes all back on State High again, right in the middle of the field.
Though in Deacon's defence, I do think this field might be a little bit smaller than regulation, so maybe that comes into it just a smidge.
Maybe they're all just taller, look smaller. Who knows?
Could be.
There we go. So they're off the middle of the pitch there, so a bit easier underfoot. So just looking at the size of Zeph Tuinona, the second rower. What's his height there? He's a very tall young man.
195 centimetres, 92 kilograms. Came off the bench for the Queensland Schoolboys National Championships. He's a player with a bright future.
So scrum by Kirk again. Trying to shift it on the outside field there, trying to get on the outside again. That's number 13, Mason Hill. Referee says that's okay. 7 is Will Roach there one more time. Again, just taking their time. No tipping tackle. Referee says no, that's it. He goes for a tipping tackle, I think, there, Nick. So out again to Elikana. The big men collide in the middle of the field. That was Mahina again. He has been very good.
State High being absolutely punished with the whistle.
So that one there looks like a tipping tackle. Anything goes above, yep.
Well, Terrace want to get some more points. They're not happy with 3.
So Kirk again.
While the boys head over to the line there for their line out, it's going to be close range, it seems. Great kick. Quincy Olo is 16 years old, playing his 3rd ever game of fullback today. He's been a fly half his whole career. Is slotted into fullback to cover the absence of Mone Ma'afu.
So Hudson Mulcahy, who just does not stop all day, this young fella. So up at 2. Nice and drive there.
2-9, didn't even need to get off the ground to contest that.
So referee with the arm up for advantage. No, not advantage. So good contact there again by Mahina. He has been everywhere this afternoon. So Kirk there at scrum half. That's Ben Clifford, I think it was there, Nick. Ben Clifford take another hit. So looking on the left-hand side. Can they stop him with a metre or 2 to go? Bidungan. As we know, a bit of rugby league pedigree again.
Yeah, Brisbane under 16s representative coming over to Terrace this year from...
Number 4 in the air.
So taking it in the air, number 4 was Tuinona.
On the 15, no?
As I was saying, from Woodridge State High School this year. He's got a bit of a track background as well. Discus, long jump, high jump, triple jump. Does a bit of everything as well as rugby league.
Stop it. Here we go, Mulcahy again. Mulcahy, he'll score.
Tough, no nonsense, and no stopping him. Hudson Mulcahy crossing his first try of 2018.
He is a no-nonsense hooker. I've said it the last couple of weeks. Let's see Will Kirk there talking to the referee.
It's like from under 5s, and you give it to the big, angry kid and let him go to work. That's why you feed your kids pies, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic work. Mulcahy, the 16 ace hooker for Gregory Terrace last year, had to come off an injury to get back into this team. Had a bit of an issue with his knee ligaments, hammies, and calves all through the preseason, but I think Terrace is very happy to have him back now.
Interesting fact that I saw the State High team, they were just expecting Mulcahy to take a straight hit, but Mulcahy put a little bit of a right foot step on and put them all on a bit of the back foot, so good bit of footwork from the hooker. Kirk shanks it to the left a little bit there, so his first miss of the whole season. So, no.
No, I had a game to forget, I think, for Will Kirk last week. He missed about 4 kicks.
We were there too, weren't we?
That's
Sorry.
right. Well, that's why I was reluctant to not say anything, because I got accused after the game of myself putting the yips on me with the commentator's curse.
My apologies, it was the nudgy fellow missed a few. I've got them all, sorry.
Yes.
So here we go again. It's a carbon copy again of before. So we can see Terrace, they just want to get it out of, do they want to get it out of their 22 or just on the baseline here?
Scrambling on the ground, Mason Hill. He's been good for Terrace this year in his first season, first team rugby.
So Will Kirk, the big number 7. Oh, sorry, Will Roach, beg your pardon. Again, out the back door, so they're trying to get numbers here on the outside. On the outside of the big second rower, there's one to beat. No, he goes himself. Good tackle by the big second rower, Tuinoa. So Kirk again at scrum half.
Absolutely essential. Quinciola had some pace, didn't he, on that break?
That was the big Batungan. Good drive there. They've come all the way from their own try line up to now, so referee says no. What's that one they're holding on there, I think?
Oh, key turnover there. Number 6, it looks like Vian Gibert there.
What about that from Zeph Tuinoa? Getting on the outside of his player, but actually mowing him down. That's excellent play.
Oh, long legs pumping fast. Those tall guys can work some distance. I mean, just ask Usain Bolt how quick he can be with those long levers. Phenomenal work to shut down a very enterprising raid from Gregory Terrace down that right-hand side.
So here we go.
The scrummaging battle resumes. It's been pretty even so far. No team's able to scrap much of an advantage.
So short arm, so Waldy. What are they going to do? Take another scrum, or are they going to go?
Not pushing straight, I think, against Melvin Mavega.
So again, Pona. He's been dynamite with and without the ball this afternoon, but Will Roach all over the top there. He's like a seagull on a chip. So again, the two big, the hooker to second rower on the outside.
It's Tui Samoa.
Tui Samoa. He's a tall lad for a winger as well. So the big Mahina's gone through some very weak defence. Can he link himself up? Great tackle by the big second rower. Referee says, yep, there's come on the offside.
Yeah, but arm out, clearly offside there. Cynical even.
So Bradman Williams with a pick up and drive. Good pick up for the debutant as well.
That's the 22-metre line there that stayed high just behind now.
Out the back door again to Tui Samoa. Tui Samoa just on the outside, just offloads to number 12 was Pona, but just doesn't go to hand. And again, Pona trying to hold the man up.
Gee, there's shades of Jordan Patera about that movement, wasn't there?
Wasn't there what? And now all the pressure's been taken off Terrace.
Not out.
Denver Taylor with a great catch and pass. Let's see what State High have now with Tui Samoa. And the other Tui Samoa to Tui Samoa. The big number 11. Good truck up. Again, just a little pop there, I think it was there, Nick. And
off the deck, nice and quick.
Waldy. Number 7 is Joubert. Pops out the back door. Waldy out to Deacon. Deacon takes a good hit up and a great tackle there by Mason Hill, the try scorer from before. Here we go.
Tom Duke.
I love a redhead in the team.
Number 8 last week, second row this week.
So he's turned that over there. I'm not too sure who that was, but it's a
Jorgensen on the ground, I think. Incredible stuff.
Cutout ball. Here we go. This is where the big men, there's 2 tackles missed, and Mahina is down. He's in a world of hurt. Went a bit too high.
Shrugging off with not in trouble.
Again. Good tackle by our mate, Tom Duke. Into the 22 now. What are they going to do now, Terrace? Oh, the Mulcahy. Where else would he know which way to go? So just slowing the ball down with Kirk. Shoots up the middle. Will Kirk. Will he go all the way? 1 to beat. Numbers there for State High. Kirk stays and he pops it over. Who's this one here? Tui Samoa. One more time. Tui Samoa. Tackle there by... I missed that number there. So it was Jorgensen, was it? Number 6?
No, it looks like Mason Hill was there just in time.
Wow.
And what do they say about rugby? Momentum shifts and it turns, doesn't it? And it's all on State High's side right now.
Unbelievable. 21 minutes gone. The first 10 or 12 minutes went to Terrace. Now I reckon it's even now.
You're going to see this big concept from Vandenberg saying, see you later to Nesta Mahina. Just getting that head in an awkward position on that shoulder. And then Grant Tui Samoa. This gate here, the way he just moves like that, that's Israel Folau-esque, that's Jordan Patea-esque. Look at those lovely long limbs moving in such a fashion. It's so hard to bring down.
So here we go. Bradman Williams to throw the ball in. So where they're going to go State High this time. They went too early, but they're going to go out the back door. Referee says knock back, play on. Big number 6 is Mackenzie. Beg your pardon.
Joubert, the redhead, a jersey swap with Sam Mackenzie, it seems. Long limbs and headgear, we've seen that before.
Oh, I love Mahina to Tuamavavi, the 2-1. And the contact there, the big fella.
Number 8 offside.
And haven't State High been able to work themselves back in this game, and all of a sudden within striking distance. And with a scrum now, they've got all this space on both sides to unlock Denver Taylor, Grant Tuisamo and Tau Tuisamo on the other wing. It's going to be hard to stop from here. This is a very precarious position for Gregory Terrace.
Well, let's just talk about the tight head here. Bradman Williams on the right-hand side. Bradman is just making his debut today. Usually a hooker, but replacing Tom Fuller for today. So Bradman, he's from pretty good pedigree, but his dad's a winger of Sunnybank and South's fame, and his dad was telling me before him, doesn't know where he gets this from, but he's got a bit of pace about him too for a big fella.
Is that right? I haven't seen it yet, but I hope we do. I love seeing a big man in motion.
Okay, here we go.
He's under a lot of pressure from young Emerson Treasure from Terrace.
And Denver Taylor in the scrum there. They won't see that much this year. Number 6 is Joubert. Good contact again.
Hit.
Deacon on the outside. Cut out ball. Intercept. Back to State High. Play on, says referee. There's a knock on.
An opportunity goes begging, but how about the work from Gregory Terrace on the edge, snuffing out what was a very dangerous prospect. Brutal tackle from Will Roach as well. Tackling an 80% success rate in 2018 so far. Let in a whole heap of points, but gee, they're tackling well. It's when the bodies aren't there they get burnt.
So 24 minutes gone, 10 minutes to go in this half. There's a lot of players blowing out there. It's going to be it's a hot old day out there, Nick. So here we go. So right. So Kirk,
some pressure from the State High front row, but would not go amiss here.
So Kirk with the feed. Good scrum there by both teams. Now they're going to rumble it out of the middle. A missed tackle, unfortunately, there by State High. Gets about 5 yards more.
10.
So Condon clearing out the space for a clearance kick.
So
Mason Hill under pressure.
It wasn't the greatest pass by Kirk. He'd like to have that one back again, but Mason Hill, you're right. A lot of pressure. So what are we going to see now? Is it going to be straight up the middle by State High? Or going to try to get to the big wingers and try to get Denver Taylor?
I think you've got to put some numbers into the midfield, soak up some pressure, and then get guys like Grant Tuisamo, those long legs, give him an opportunity to beat one-on-one and streak away for a score. With a short line out, State High have got just that in mind.
So where we're going to go, is it Tuisamo? No.
Chizivaka's going to go up.
No, Vaka at the back. No, they get in front of the ball there. Again, getting out of trouble. Looked a little bit forward, but that's okay. We're a long way away from the game. So on the left-hand side of the park, right-hand side for State High.
Jeez, Glenn Vahey with nowhere to go, makes something happen out of nothing. So that's a great quality in a winger.
This kid again, Rach, is unbelievable. Doesn't stop all day.
Advantage 4 offside.
So referee's calling offside with the advantage. What have Terrace got to do now? Great 10-metre run there.
Number 4.
Penalty goes against Zeph Tuinona.
It just seems to be, Nick, I'm just saying that the State High boys got a little bit too high, and Terrace just getting on that front foot 3 or 4 metres. And as we keep saying every week, it doesn't have to be 50 metres, it could be 3 or 4 metres every single time.
Well, 26 minutes in, Terrace in lead, 15-0, and there's been very few stoppages in this game. Of course, no TMO there to slow it down. These boys are being run off their feet, and if they're only 35-minute halves, this big State High forward pack averaging well over 108 kilograms per person. They're being run off their feet by this mobile Terrace pack.
And will that play in Terrace's advantage by the end of the game? I reckon it will do too. So another one over the top. So Kirk, our Jellicana again. There's runners everywhere. Good double pump there, but no, it's gone. So Taylor shut the gate. Taylor's going to go right under the posts. Is he on the Jason? Yes, Denver Taylor. Don't ask him twice.
Well, those intercept tries coming in to bite Gregory Terrace. 2 last week against Nudgee College. 1 another again here.
So just overcooking the line out there. Is a good little double pump. We can see what was happening, but the ball just bounces straight up to Denver Taylor. And I don't think a person with his pace, you have to ask him twice for that one.
Looking for that pop pass to Keegan Vandenberg, just going to ground, and all of a sudden, shock, horror, it pops up perfectly into the hands of Denver Taylor.
Anyone who's played rugby before knows the bounce of a rugby ball, it's either rocks or diamonds, isn't it? Either bounces up into your hands or it goes the other way.
Taylor's a Kiwi-born touch rugby player. Started playing league first in New Zealand for the Munawera Club. Came over to Australia when he was just a couple of years ago. And he's made a big name for himself, as we said before the game, now in the Cowboys development squad. Someone they see as someone with a bright future, at only 70 kilograms as well. So that's a huge mark on, a huge positive for young men. It's not the size of the dog in the fight.
So Francis Pona. Pona strikes it well. 15-7, 28 minutes gone.
Pona, the fly half from last year's 2017, first 15 for Brisbane State High School. As we said, Queensland Schoolboys centre. He prefers to play 12 himself. He gets that nice mix of running and passing. He loves the duality of that role. Fashioned himself something as a Ma Nonu for the State High team, able to do both roles equally well. And some crunching hits as well.
Oh.
He's got a very well-rounded game, this young man.
He's been very impressed in the first 28 minutes.
And funnily enough, he's a basketball player. A point guard on the basketball court.
One of those guys can do everything. So good take there.
Metacella Suapai rising high.
So Kirk a bit late to the party. Big crunching tackle up there, but there's numbers at the breakdown. The Joubert up high. Kirk, Elikana, Condon again. Is that Condon? Yep.
Yeah, fighting over the line and through the tackle of Zeph Tuinona.
He was very strong last week. Condon, inside ball to the skipper. Plenty of numbers on the ball there for State High, but no, they all roll away. Big human being now. Referee says advantage. Out the back door again. Numbers on for State High, another great tackle.
With advantage still, what can Terrace make happen here?
So Will Roach again. He's everywhere this afternoon. Here we go. This is what we wanted to see last week. Metasula Saipia.
Running wild on that wing. That's what we need from him.
Over the top. Terrace not committing to the breakdown.
Long advantage, but nothing there for Terrace to be gained.
So what happens now? They go for the try or do they go for the penalty? I think to waste a bit of time, or maybe just try to get that knockout punch before half-time.
Oh, well, perhaps selfishly me, because I want to see great running rugby. I want to see Will Roach direct his halfback to kick for the line. We'll see what he does, though. They're going to take a shot, it seems. Oh, I misinterpreted that sign. They're going for the line.
Well, there you go, 5 metres out. He kicks a goal for the soccer nets. So here we go. Terrace. 5 minutes to go. What have they got up the bag here? State High, bit of pressure.
Four. Keep the gut.
Just a spectacular viewing angle for us and the audience.
So Mulcahy, number 5, Clifford says get out of the way. The rumble up the middle, just over the 5 metre line. Ball's on the deck now. The pick and drive by Mulcahy again. Mulcahy scores.
He's got 2. There he is, second game of the season, 2 tries. Phenomenal stuff from the young man.
And that's just a heartbreaker just before half-time. And there was a bit of confusion here at the front of the line out, telling everyone to get out of the way. Hang on a second. And as Clifford went up, the ball just seemed to be a bit stagnant at the back there. And Mulcahy thought, well, I'm only going to do one thing.
Well, I wonder if State High thought they might try and pull up this Irish maul defence where you just sort of hang off on those rolling mauls and get an obstruction penalty blown in your favour. I couldn't tell what happened there. Hudson Mulcahy said, well, bugger this, I'm going myself. And a good decision in the end.
Especially when he had big bodies in front of him. He had Mahina and Williams in front of him. So thinking, do I go this way or do we give it out to our back line? So well done.
Well, Gregory Terrace didn't have the easiest start to the season, going up against competition heavyweights. Terrace, beg your pardon, Southport School and Nudgee College. And coming up here, showing some credentials for the mid-table.
Oh, Kirk, he's missed that one again, unfortunately, goes to the left. But still 20 points to 7 with about 3 minutes to go before half-time by our counting.
Well, gee, it's a lonely spot to be out there in the midfield when you're missing these kicks. Hopefully his teammates get around and say, hey, don't worry, mate, that's not your fault. We're scoring the points. You just got to try your best. Don't lose your confidence and keep kicking the way you've kicked.
So Francis Pona, right in the middle of the cricket pitch once again. Goes shallow this time. Great kick just over the 10-metre line.
Perfect kick.
Perfect kick there, exactly right. Bidungan went up high. He's an athlete of a human being, isn't he?
Can say that again. He
So,
told me last week that his biggest struggle transitioning into rugby union from his favourite sport, rugby league, was wrapping his head around the mental side. I think once he's got that, his physical attributes are going to be enough to make him a very handy player for the next 3 years in this first 15.
So here we go. Ciolo got on the outside there of Denver Taylor. Ciolo, as we called before, he's only been a fullback for a little bit of time. So Kirk. Now, good ball by Condon to Jorgensen. Just slowing the ball down a little bit again. The two big men getting on the front foot every single time, 2 or 3 metres every time. Ball goes on the deck again. That's what had trouble before for State High. Big part of Terrace.
Not bad skills there for Emerson Treasure, trapping that loose ball with his foot.
On the outside, Mason Hill with the offload to this man again, Mulcahy. Will he score again?
I don't think so, isn't it?
He scored again.
He's done it! The hat-trick!
I tell you what.
Phenomenal stuff.
There was nothing happening there, Nick, and all of a sudden, Hudson Mulcahy down the right-hand flank. He's having a field day.
Barreling down that tram tracks on the right-hand side. We're going to see the replay here. Great little offload from Mason Hill, setting his hooker free, but how about the pace on him?
Well, the touch judge was right there, and he might not ever score a hat-trick ever again in his whole life, so give it to him.
Oh, it's phenomenal how many hat-tricks have been scored so far this season. We saw Ronan Hassel, the Toowoomba Grammar School number 8, cross for 3 against Toowoomba Grammar in week 1. We saw 2 in round 2. We saw Xavier Savage from BBC, Jungle Bennett from Nudgee College. Congratulations, Hudson Mulcahy. You're part of the club.
Well, we call him guide dog because he's bludging on the blind there, and all of a sudden the ball came to him, and he had some big human beings to beat as well. He had Chizzy Vaka, and he had the big second rower, Tuinona.
Phenomenal stuff. Well, it would have required quite a finish from that position. Luckily, Hudson Mulcahy had it in great supply.
So Kirk strikes it, falls short, and that looks like it's half-time. Their referee blows half-time. So, Nick, 25-7. Those 2 tries just before half-time has really taken the wind out of State High.
Well, they'd clawed back with that intercept try, hadn't they? Until you get to this blowout towards the end. Not the end to the half that State High would have wanted.
So we're going to take a break with the players, have some oranges, and we'll see you in a few minutes for the second half. Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the second half of this seesawing game so far there, Nick. It's 25-7 to Gregory Terrace. However, 25-7, I think State High are still in this game.
Yeah, that's right. It's absolutely not over yet. I mean, and running into the sun as well. It's going to be lovely conditions to move the ball. And now, in this hole now, they've got no choice. They've got to throw the kitchen sink at it. Well, so we're in for a great second half.
Yeah, and I just see a couple of times we've seen the Tui Samoa boys. They've been really getting on the front foot. So they just need a bit more of support from the rest of the guys, and we've got a game going on. So 35 minutes to go in this game. Kick off by State High. Doesn't find 10 metres out in the full, is it? Doesn't really matter.
On a one bounce. They're going to go back no matter what.
So that's not the start that State High would have wanted.
Well, luckily enough, there's an easy way to remedy this. You get out there, put a lot of the defensive pressure on Gregory Terrace, force a turnover, and you're back to square one.
So here we go. Will Kirk to feed the ball.
I'll tell you what, before the scrum gets underway, I've been loving the form of Quinn Ciolo coming into the second half on debut in the first 15, the younger brother of a former second 15 fly half for Terrace, Xavier Ciolo, but he's been wonderful. Yeah, his touches have been quality so far. It's been really interesting to see. And it's always great having that playmaker out in the fullback as well. It gives you another playmaking option. So Metasula Suapia picking from the back. 15 is the man we've been speaking about, Ciolo. Gets on the front foot again. Pick and drive. Short ball on the left-hand side. Just knocks that ball on, unfortunately. Vehu, tremendously talented Queensland schoolboy. In fact, leading try scorer for the Queensland schoolboys at the National Championship. Scored 4 against WA. He's got wonderful hands, wonderful elusivity. He's a bit of... How you going, mate? Very intimidating there by... Our cameraman making some friends. So here we go. Vehu's got wonderful, fabulous skills. Unlucky not to hold on to that one there. So just on the tram tracks on the right-hand side of the Brisbane State High School half. Waldy to feed the ball. So, as we chatted about before, the size of this State High team, will it come into play in the last half of this half? The eye falls upon Vian Joubert, the number 6 today. We thought before the game he'd be wearing the number 7 jersey. Obviously a late switch there. He's a fabulous player. He's Queensland State of Origin under 16s in his first ever season of playing rugby league. He's played centres all his life, transitioned to the back row just this year. He's made a fine fist of it. That was a good second shove by Terrace. They're crashing it up the middle. That's number 13, Sam Silly. Just taking their time. Oh. Goes on the ground there. Tom Duke, the big man, who was very good in the first half as well. Going back to the right-hand side. Out the back by Tulmavavi. All right-hand side, who's this one? Denver Taylor. He's been electric this afternoon. Good choice of pass to Francis Pona. Pona hits his front foot. Clean out there by Brisbane State High. Great ball retention there. Just putting on the power to retain position. Wait for forwards to come and support. So that was Mahina. Against slow ball, they want a bit faster. There's Bradman Williams showing the pace like his father. He'll enjoy that little comment there too. Good clean out by...
Not rolling.
Fantastic stuff from Tyrone Metasela Suapia, injecting himself. You always love the players who can sense the right moment to really get in there and disrupt, because one little impact like that can all of a sudden create a turnover, especially if you've got teammates on the same page. I'll tell you, I agree 100%. I really like that play. It just does put the attacking team just that little bit of a back foot, except when you've got a huge human being you can't move, and that does make a difference, but it is a good tactic. And the point it does as well is it reinforces that, hey, you've got to support your own ball at every single breakdown, because we have guys capable of blasting you off it if you don't support appropriately. So Bradman Williams with the throw-in. Been very good line out this afternoon by both teams. So up in Tuinona. Takes the ball on the right-hand side. Goes back down a couple of metres near the sideline. So nothing really worked there. That was Tom Duke, I think it was, coming round, or was it? No, I reckon that was Vian Joubert. Oh, yep. He's got a bit of African heritage. His mum's from South Africa, his dad's from Zimbabwe. Gee, channeled a bit of the African rhino there, didn't he? Head down low, legs pumping. A fine player. So the hat-trick man, Mulcahy with the throw. They're going to run it out from their own half. That's a great tackle by the number 20.
Referee says no arms tackle, was it?
Yeah, that's right. No arms there.
Yeah, wait a minute, Chuck.
The Sayafanga special, the grass cutter.
So, dominant tackle. Yeah, no, he clearly hasn't used any arms. No, not for me. Okay, so we had a tipping tackle, half, and a high tackle. We've now had another no. Yeah, clean it up, please.
Very articulate by the referee, and I think those tackles are, and we might have said about last week or the week before, those kind of tackles are the 50-50 call, isn't it? You just get your hands up too late, and then you get pinged for it.
Oh, as well. And when you go for the hit, your arm naturally wraps around, but if the impact's too great, the guy bounces off, like happened in this situation. I mean, you could argue both sides. Clear, articulate communication from the referee. Captain Nestor Mahina knows exactly where his side stands.
So here we go again. Gregory Terrace stepping inside, outside there. Clean out and pull the ball for Ciolo. Good contact there by Pona. Cleaning that up very, very nicely. Kirk, the big fella, Emerson Treasure. Haven't seen much of him this afternoon. That's a good props game, though. You don't see much of them. They do their right stuff. Metasula Suapia.
And Terrace building up this momentum again. They get right through their phases. It's really great rugby to watch. So
again, they're trying to spoil at the breakdown. Out the back, there's Kirk to Roach. Trying to get just that pop ball there. Ciola as a good fullback, just sneaking around everywhere. Oh, good contact there. Great work by Tom Duke. He says, do that again, mate. I love it.
Brad Williams.
So Bedungan here, right in the middle of the cricket pitch. Once more, picks up and drives again. No tackle there, referee says.
Not held.
Keeps going 5 or 10 metres.
Zef Tuinona attempting the strip.
Ball's out in front of him. There we go again. Will Roach, the skipper. Tirelessly. My English is great. Again, Bedungan.
Lost forward. Lost. A counter-attack opportunity now.
So Waldy taking the hit up. Chizzy Vaka with a slow ball there. Big crunch. Again, the big men colliding. There's some big human beings out there. Again, that's Chulmavi. Again, Tuinoa. Just do your job well, boys, and we'll get ourselves out of trouble. Patience here. All it is patience.
You've got to wonder whether this sort of grinding yourself upon the grindstone of Gregory Terrace's defence is the right option for the State High team. Maybe kicking it into the backfield and chasing. Maybe that's where you get your best bang for your buck in this situation. Because all it is right now is an opportunity to turn it over.
So Luke Waldy trying to get a penalty there with a lazy runner, and he got that one too. And I think it was Emerson Treasure. Caught him on the back foot, and a penalty out of trouble. 50-metre line right in the screen. So, yeah, maybe it's you might be right there, Nick. It's a kick the ball. But, again, with players like Vahu, Vandenberg, Ciolo, like, do you really want those blokes running back at you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Can you afford to give away that much possession when you're in this much of a hole? Maybe it's something I should have discussed in the first half.
So we see the replay from before. The big contact there.
Great shot. Williams and Duke. Williams making his first 15 debut today. He's had a couple of very nice impacts on the game.
So Williams with a throw in one more time. He's got Tuinoa, Chizzy Vaka. Going over the short ball there. It's a bit of a trick shot. An old school play. Getting on the outside. Good straight line. But unfortunately, Joubert knocks the ball on. That was a good line there.
Oh, and you got to pay full credit to this tackle from, I think it was Dan Condon in the end, getting up in the face of Sam Silly, I suppose. Vian Joubert, and just forcing that ball clean. It was a risky pass. It was tough to juggle in, but when you're copying that sort of hit to the legs, it just becomes impossible.
And I think exactly what State High have to do now is just chance their arm a bit. They've really got to be the next team to score this afternoon, or there's going to be a long afternoon.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. There's still plenty of time left in this game. And I mean, you score in 7-point increments. You catch up pretty quick as long as you can break the line and get over the try line. And you think, who are the leaders who are going to be standing up for State High in this situation where the game is absolutely at the risk of running away from them? We get both hookers on screen here. State High captain Hudson Mulcahy, hat-trick hero. If they win the game, certainly that'll be the headline.
There's not many times in your career, especially at hooker, where you can claim 3 tries in one game, let alone 3 tries in 1.5. So it's a great stat to have, and he'll be taking that one forever.
That being said, though, the amount of rolling maul tries the team's operating from, hookers are now the sort of leading try-scoring forwards in the forward pack. So, but yeah, absolutely right in the past for sure, but it's getting more common now.
Different game, isn't it? It's great. It's excellent to see. Here we go. So Ciolo there, get on. Vandenberg, get the big bodies going forward at pace. Will Kirk one more time, trying to get out of trouble. Ciolo gets themselves out of trouble. Just chip away up the field as their coach would have wanted them to do. Get out of trouble first.
I wonder if Ciolo's naturally a left-footed kick, because that right-footed effort looked awkward. And if he is left-footed kicking, he's ambidextrous with his feet. That's a wonderful skill for a fullback to have.
Well, as you said, he's come from fly half as well, so you'd imagine that he would have the skill of both. So a couple of changes, it looks like, here for State High. 19 going off. So Bradman Williams one more time. Over the back. Referee says that's okay. Crash ball to Mason Hill. No, beg your pardon. Sam Silly, beg your pardon. Wrong team. Again. Crushing up the middle there. And again, you can see there, Nick, that Terrace aren't actually committing to the breakdown.
No, just enough to sort of be there and certainly not to give away runs through the middle, but certainly not contesting it.
So referee says play on. Loose carry. It's okay. State High's ball still. A bit of action on the ground. Treasure pulling the Vucker over the side of the ruck. Again, no scrum half. Ball's out. There's nothing wrong with that. It was okay. Oh, good contact by the skipper again.
Do we need to say it? Will Roach. He's been special in every single impact.
So Mahina.
Tremendous influence on the game.
Mahina with just his low body height there and the centre of gravity and the acceleration. But unfortunately, loose carry.
Look at this hit. Will Roach, he's on unsteady feet, but puts his head down and drops the hammer.
And can just look his transfer from ground to his feet as well. He's very fast.
85 kilograms, certainly not the biggest, not by a long shot. We've got some huge players out there, as I said before, an average of 108 kilograms per player. So Roach should give up about 15 to every single one of these blokes. Hasn't stopped him from dropping the hammer on any of them.
So 7 minutes gone in this
Captain's
half.
knock.
Sorry, 12 minutes gone in this half. 47 minutes gone. So one more time, Will Kirk to play the scrum half role. El Kana. Just a slow phase, play the ball, just setting something up here. Elakana again on his opposite of the 12, which is Pona.
Couldn't get the offload away to Quinciola, but if they did, it was all on.
Short ball from Roach. Phase play, no one at the breakdown. Here we go. The big fella again. Give me more.
Oh, it's unique, isn't that running style? Just launching himself headfirst into the defence.
Offload there to Jorgensen. Jorgensen getting up close to the 10-metre line. Just sniping. Double pumping the ball to Clifford. Clifford straight over the top. No one break at the breakdown for State High. Again, Metasula Sopia. State High just countering every single... good hit. Play on, says a referee. That's no worries at all. Another bounce of the ball. Vucker with the clean out. No one there.
If there was a support runner off his hip, Joubert could have popped that and it would have been away.
Deacon with a little bit of a kick there. Ooh. Right foot, left foot.
Oh.
Misses one tackle, but tackled by Silly.
He cuts a Kalen Ponga-like figure, doesn't he, with that white headgear?
Again, Mulcahy, one more time, is it? Loves it.
Crunching Hudson Mulcahy.
2 passes from the ruck. Here we go. Metasula Sapaia. He's beaten 2. He's beaten 3. He's offloaded there to Will Kirk. Will Kirk inside ball to number 11 is Vahu. Vahu, the winger, and we're going to score. Kirk's going to score. Kirk's going to score.
This is the try of the season. Absolutely, Will Kirk. The teamwork from Gregory Terrace, popping that blind left and right. It's a wonderful support play. Kirk around the outside. That is a special try.
What about that one? That was just sit back and enjoy that there. I'll tell you what, Nick, that was one of the best tries I've seen this year.
Jeez, I'm happy to be sitting on this side of the chair because I'd run out of breath about halfway through that. That was incredible. Metacel Suapai off the right effortlessly. I was so aware of his support, popping that for Kirk. The footwork, gee, it's all around. Vehu, the hands from there. Batunga to get the ball live. Kirk, wow, State Highs ran out of supporters who were there to stop that.
Great hands by Batunga on the left-hand side. Obviously seeing I've got a quick guy like Will Kirk on my left-hand side and offloading from there. Perfect.
I mean, this field, this Coliseum at Brisbane State High School, seen some wonderful players go through. Your Wally Lewises in the mid-70s. You've got your David Wilsons from 1984, coincidentally played with Luke Waldy's dad. But even they would have to stand up and applaud. That's one of the finest tries you've seen on this ground in all those years. State High late entrance into the GPS competition, so not strictly 100 years for them, but they've been around for a very long time. That's up there with the best.
You're not kidding. How good was that? So, the try scorer, Will Kirk.
Jeez, you'll see that on replays this week, won't you? Double Take Sports on our Facebook page. We pump out tries of the week for the winners every single week, and I just get the feeling, Chets, we're going to see that one there.
Strikes it.
Plenty to cheer about for Will Kirk. Like we mentioned earlier in the game, the youngest of three brothers, all three of them played halfback at Gregory Terrace. From 2015 to 2018, Kirk has worn the 9 jersey.
Captain Kirk. There we go. So, 32-7. I made myself laugh then, sorry. So 32-7. 51 minutes gone. Again.
Play on and into touch.
Again, those little 1%ers there, Nick, that you have to do to get back in this game, and it's going to be a tough road for State High, but to get back into the game, I'll tell you, they need to just do those little things right.
Geez, you sit back and think, that's what GPS Rugby is about for me. You look at all these wonderful players that have come through the competition in recent years, your Kalen Pongers in 2014, so many wonderfully talented players, and that's just what they can do.
So Clifford takes it from the top. Alicana out the back door then again. They're finding holes everywhere now. The skipper, he can also run with the ball.
Great tackle from opponent to bring down a rampaging Will Roach.
So getting one-on-one tackling there. So the number 6 for State High, Joubert. He hasn't stopped all day, Joubert. I've really enjoyed watching him play. Again, this fella again in the middle of the field. The skipper hasn't stopped. Kirk out the back door, then Alicana. Just trying to get his Vehu. Vehu on his opposite number. Gets outside. Vehu one to beat. Vehu, he's got to score one more try. Beg your pardon. I jumped the gate, but yeah, Vehu right under the black dot.
Coming across and cover defence. Forgiven for not being able to see him. Luckily, Glenn Vehu did, and it was just effortless.
Well, I tell you what, Denver Taylor, unfortunately missed that one-on-one tackle that led to the try.
So hard when you got a player at speed. And I'll tell you what's a scary thought for the rest of the competition. Glenn Vehu's got one more year, and next year he's going to bring his little brother David with him. Looking at a fullback and wing combination ostensibly of Vehu's. That's a scary side for the rest of the GPS. Phenomenal work.
And I had the pleasure of watching him, obviously, in the 7-a-side tournament over the Christmas time last year, and just electric on his feet. You know, a 7 specialist, obviously, but in this situation, broken field play, he's just like he had confidence with 2 guys in front of him. He was always going to score.
Well, we were talking earlier today with our stats man, Zach Zroff, about the players who are the most elusive in the competition. There was one boy from Ipswich, I'm sure we'll get to, hopefully in next week's broadcast, Tom Casey, but Glenn Vehu clearly well up there.
So Kirk, one more time, gets another conversion. So 53 minutes gone, 39-7. State High, just after half-time, seemed to have a little bit of a foot in the accelerator, but unfortunately, a couple of quick tries to Terrace and things have changed completely.
Oh, well, maybe not the football that old boys arriving on State High Day here to South Brisbane today would have been expecting, but gee, they've seen some wonderful football just on the other side of the spectrum, I suppose.
So that ball is not out in the full. No, it was inside his 22. So 39-7. 35-minute halves. So 16 fresh players, 16 8 but fresh legs on the park.
He could be a clone of Nesta Mahina. I wonder if it's a little brother. Nesta's at the back there, but he looks very similar.
So here we go. Very different throwing style at the start. Let's see how we go. Straight up. Straight over the top. Unfortunately, doesn't hit. Mahina hits the deck. Presents the ball perfectly back there for his forwards. So again, short ball. That was always on. The redhead to redhead. Great stuff, Tom Duke. Well, the short passing game, you can see the shooters from Terrace, and the short pass was always on. It was great to see.
Well, last week they had both the rangers in the back row. They separated them this week for Locke and obviously Joubert playing 6 today. They've still found each other across the field. It's hard not to.
So, going for the line. So State High, playing for some pride. A few tries, you never know. Can be optimistic. So just inside the 22-metre line there.
State High in their first 2 weeks went down 10-38 to Nudgee College at Ross Oval, and then 5-35 down at Southport. So they had a tough start to the season. It hasn't got much better for them today.
So here we go.
They've already conceded the most points of their season.
Tuinona off the top again. Good work to Waldia, to Deakin, to rumbling up the back rolls and second rolls in the middle there. State High wrapping that ball up. Waldy out to Deakin. Tough day at the office for your debut, let me tell you. It's been turned over. That is Elikana. Elikana just takes the ball. The ball goes down. Referee says no, we'll take a scrum.
Certainly was the right option to get that right hand free and look for some support. Maybe a Glenn Vehu racing around the outside. It's great defence in that situation there from Pona. His outside centre, Silly, I think it was, blocking off that line and forcing a knock on. But you don't have to reflect back too far to find the days where State High were really one of the powerhouses of the GPS. I mean, their 2019 with guys like a very young Chris Fawai-Sortier, Curtis Browning, some wonderful players, Paul Alomil, who's now a Samoan national prop. Some wonderful players come through this nursery, and in recent years as well. It's a bit sad to see the program at the stage it is, but as always, the light is at the end of the tunnel. There's some wonderful talent coming through. This grade 11 age group in particular, one of the strongest State High I've seen in a very long time.
Well, every competition have they come through phases, don't they? So chip over the top. This is what they want now. That's Tui Samoa. He's very, very tall young man. So referee says no, not releasing on the ground. But that's what they need, a bit of spark now for Tui Samoa. That's what they need. Well,
actually, a very good tackle, I would have thought, by Keegan Vandenberg. Broncos signed Keegan Vandenberg, channeling a bit of Gordon Tallis in that.
So Chizzy Vaka taking the ball. Short ball one more time. That's another Tui Samoa again. Kicks that ball through. There's going to be... No.
I think it's Jurgensen there getting back in support, grounding it. Are we coming back for a penalty or it might be a dropout? No, 22 dropout. Nice and simple.
So you'd be... At the end of the day with Jurgensen there, you're down by you're up by a fair bit, but you've got an opportunity to still keep pumping your legs and keep getting on the ball.
It was Mason Hill, sorry, not Keegan Vandenberg, with the Tallis-esque wrestling into touch.
So Kirk with a big 50-metre drop kick. That's a great kick.
That's a good kick.
Didn't look like much off the boot, but I'll tell you what, here we go. Number 10 is Deakin taking a run. Another turnover. That's his second turnover, unfortunately, for the young debutant. So good contact there on the ground. Go short again. Is Kirk. He's just sniping around that now. So Brisbane State High have got to be careful. No, but they get a penalty. Straight in over the top.
Well, that's a let-off for State High. But you think when you get guys running it back like Carmichael Hunt in his heyday, there's a reason guys don't do that because it's so difficult to defend that ball when you've got shoulders targeting it.
So Deakin doesn't find touch.
No.
That's a cardinal sin, sorry.
He might have hurt himself as well.
Vehu with a right foot step. He finds some big human beings there.
Went down grabbing his leg.
So off the foot, referee says, play on. Not a problem at all.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the platform State High need. A few whistles go their way. All of a sudden, they've carved off 30 or so metres, and that's an opportunity for them to build some pressure of their own.
So there's a quick tap there by the skipper, Mahina, out to Chizivaka.
But notice, Chets, the State High haven't been able to string together multiple phases of possession that they really need to start to exert themselves on the Terrace defensive line. It's a real problem.
So Waldy, again, here's a skipper, Mahina, out to Joubert, close to being forward, but referee says no, it's okay.
I agree.
Waldy again, out to Deacon. They're just now trying to do a few phases, as you were saying, Nick, before, a few phase play, and then show a bit of spark. Pona, who's been quiet this half, he's really needs to step his game if he wants to get these guys on the front foot, but State High giving them no options. Number 11 is Tui Samoa.
Now this is an opportunity.
Pona one-on-one with Kirk. Just those 50-50, unfortunately, doesn't stick there, Nick.
And you can't criticise either, because you're that close, you're flirting with the touchline. You got no option but to float the speculator in. And when you're this far behind, 32 points, the margin, you can forgive someone trying to make something happen.
You've got to do it. You've got to do it. That's exactly right. But that's the day I think State High have had. Those 50-50 balls just haven't stuck.
And quite the contrary, Gregory Terrace, on the other hand, I mean, everything that's bounced their way, or the bounce ball has gone their way in every single opportunity. The day has just shone upon Gregory Terrace, getting their first win of the season. And I've checked my notes. I can't find the last team that won a premiership with 2 losses to start the season.
So, big news. That's it. That's a...
Well, let's just say if they do it from here, it'll be a very notable occasion. And I think this right here would probably be the first stoppage time of the entire second half. I mean, these poor blokes running around, as I said before, not 30 degrees, but not far off it. It's a hot day to be playing this fast, up-tempo rugby that schoolboy footy, especially GPS, is so renowned for.
So that's a sad sight. Tyrone Metasula Suapia. Looked like a shoulder injury there. So I didn't actually see the contact that happened, but he's a big, strong boy. He's had obviously a pretty serious injury to go off.
Yeah, you'd hope that he'd be able to, I guess, get some treatment on it and be back, hopefully, at some point this season. Metasula Suapia played in the wing last year for Gregory Terrace. It was a sight to behold in the GPS trials, playing for GPS 3, where he single-handedly crushed the AIC team, I think, from memory.
So Will Kirk to feed the ball. Good scrum by State High with fresh legs on the field. That was a good scrum there. Fresh legs.
So, hit to make sure we stay straight, okay?
And some great stuff from this reserve tight head in the 18 jersey, playing on the loose head side. Plenty of power going through this left-hand side of the scrum.
So my question is, why does the referee question the attacking, the stronger of the scrum? Anyway, that's my issue with scrums. But okay.
I think in this case, GPS play on under 19 rules, so there is some protection afforded to a team being sort of pummeled in scrum time. So there's the easy answer to the question.
Thank you. Vahu with a hit up. He takes some really dirty meters up the middle.
Geez, his running meter stats for this game will be incredible.
Elikana out to Zach Condon there. Has been quiet this afternoon with the offload to Hill. That was on that time again, but the referee says no. Ciolo was through.
Dreaming of glory on debut. 3rd ever game as a fullback. That would be a nice runaway try to open your account.
It's interesting, Dan Condon was very strong in attack last week, and just that offload to Mason Hill, that was on.
Well, that combination from Condon to Hill has been arguably across the GPS one of the form sort of dynamic duos. They play so well off each other. Condon, of course, offering that strength and stability in inside centre, and Mason the jets to break clear at any time. So when the two of them combine with an offload, with a short ball like we saw to open the opening try of the match, that's a hard thing to defend.
So the two halfbacks in shot. Waldy to feed the ball.
School captain of Brisbane State High School this year, Luke Waldy. The younger brother of Laura Waldy, one of Queensland's up-and-coming women's rugby 7 stars.
Oh, jeez, it's in the blood.
Reminds me a little bit of a similar story with Sam Kaslik, who was the 2009 Dream Team halfback for State High, the elder brother of Charlotte Kaslik.
Here we go, the big fella with 5 metres to go from the try line. And also that's Mulcahy. He just doesn't score him. He defends, but no, try time on the left-hand side of the park.
Nesta Mahina, 4 tries to hookers on the day. The captain going over late. We'll see the break again here. Fine, we haven't got a name for this young man, but he's done very well in space. Holding up the ball, creating opportunity for Nestor Mahina to burrow over on the left-hand wing.
And you see who was there as well? Our man Hudson Mulcahy, just there a second too late, and with the size of Mahina and his body strength so close to the line, here you're not going to stop him.
Well, Hudson Mulcahy, very unfortunate to miss the start of the season through injury. But you have to imagine on this form that he's showing in the GPS competition, he would be in a real chance for Queensland Schoolboys representation. A brothers junior representative, Mulcahy. I think Mahina's a Sunnybank man. I believe the younger brother of another Sunnybank man, Quinton Mahina, who was the Queensland 1 Schoolboys inside centre from a couple of years back, now playing his rugby in Japanese university system. He's having a whale of a time over in Osaka, I believe.
So another good pedigree as well. So Moses Jones.
The younger brother of one, Quade Cooper.
Misses that one, goes to the left.
Kick drift wide, but if you've followed Quade Cooper's social media accounts over the years, you will have seen that Moses Jones, the two are favourite kicking buddies for each other. We spotted most afternoons out in the park practicing. Jones started the first 2 matches of the season for Brisbane State High School, went back to 16 A's for today, getting his opportunity off the bench late in this one.
So 6 minutes to go. Kickoff's deep, sun in the eyes.
Oh, Waldy does very well.
Waldy does very well. Oh, Vucker drops the ball. Knock back, play on, says a referee. So good struggling run there by Jones. Yep, does the dirty work. Here again now. Good clean out. Comes out the back door. That was Pona out to Tuinoa.
And don't be surprised right here if State High are able to pull out one or more tries in this late stages.
That was an inside ball by Mahina, I think it was.
Fresh blood. They're throwing everything at it.
So cut out ball, just knock on there by, is that
Hudson Mulcahy might sit down for 10 minutes. The way it's been refereed in Super Rugby and above over this year, you knock on there and you're not in a position to regather it, that's considered yellow card offence.
I'd have to say it is one of the most frustrating rules in the game. However, it is a rule, but Mulcahy there didn't have eyes. No, it's a Falcon.
It's a Falcon, that's why.
Well, what's going on here? Isn't that a play on? This must be the knock on, obviously, by...
Yeah, playing advantage, maybe. Well, there you go. This game has got everything. Hooker hat-tricks, Falcons.
How good is he? What can't he do?
I'm not sure what we put in the highlights, the Falcon or the Kirk try.
I'm sure he'll see the Falcon for many years to come from now on. So here we go. 5 minutes to go in this game. Waldy with a feed. Ball screws. Dead ball goes in the try line. So here we go. Ball goes back. So it's going to be a Gregory Terrace scrum.
Come around this way.
So the calves are burning, quads, everything's burning with 5 minutes, especially when you're 39-12 up. All the pain actually feels okay, but when you're getting pumped 39-12, that's the pain really kicks in. So what we see here, Will Kirk.
Well, Gregory Terrace well on their way to their first win of 2018, the 100th anniversary season of GPS Rugby.
So Condon with a rumble up the middle there. Quick ball to Kirk. Shifting out left-hand side of the park, getting one-on-one with the opposition. He on his feet, doesn't release it. Knock on. That's another pressure taken off. So let's see what State High have here. Just an opportunity loss there, you'd have to say, by Terrace to score close to the upright.
Well, I've got one more great fact to wheel out for this game. Didn't get a chance to. Tom Duke, the second row for Brisbane State High School, has been wheeled off a little bit early, so I didn't get a chance while he was on the field, but he tells me he's the cousin of Ed Sheeran.
Is that right?
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, that's what he says.
Good on him. Good on him for making that up. That's excellent.
Bind.
Chizzy Varka, the number 8, also tried to tell me that Zeph Tuinona, the string bean lock, had a back squat. Oh, we'll get back to this later.
Okay, so rumbling out the middle. Love the stats and the facts.
The State High Boys had a bit of fun in their prep this week, it seems.
Here we go, trying to get a bit of an exit. So that's Jones kicking with a big right boot. Hits the dirt, bounces up the rugby ball again. Vahu, they missed 1 tackle. Misses 2 tackles, misses 3, misses 4, misses 5, misses 5 and a bit over the top ball. Quick ball at the right-hand side. Is Elikana again. Condon out to, here's that Hill. Hill, good defence there by Brisbane State High. The good scrambling defence. Pick up in the middle there. Is that again the halfback? Darting. Only a couple of minutes to go till the game's over. 2 metres to go from the try line. Good defence by Brisbane State High. Mason Hill at scrum half. No, he says, get out of my way. That's my job there. The skipper, Roach. Clean out by Elikana. Last couple of phases of this, the big man against little men. 2-3 metres. This should be a try. Mavega.
Well, the referee might say it's held up. We know better on this replay. Mavega's over.
I'll tell you what, a big man with the size, how big he is this close to the line there, Nick, I'll tell you, he's very, very good to stop him.
Yeah, 190 centimetres tall, 120 kilograms, Melvin Mavega. So he could dive over from about the 5 metre line and still score.
So the defence there, like Tui Samoa, they're only eyes for the ball, and I tell you what, just getting a few legs in between there, what a
perfect angle. I mean, let's be honest, this is special. How many people have ever got this close to GPS Rugby? An absolute pleasure to bring you our coverage. Double Take Sports in our 3rd year of coverage of the GPS comp, putting on these streams.
Short ball. What has Terrace got just for the last couple of minutes? Mason Hill. They've gone to the right-hand side every single time. Ball goes to the deck. Emerson Treasure.
Second time showing off those soccer skills this match.
Bidungan with the clean out as well. Another clean out. State High be lucky just to hold on to this last few seconds of the game. Out again. Back door to Ciolo. Vahu beating 2 or 3 tackles. He's beaten everyone this afternoon. So Condon. Oh, good counter-attack. Good counter. Let's see what State High got with his last few phases to go. On his feet. Play on, says a referee. That's okay. Here we go. The contact in the middle. Out the back. They're just going to find touch. Scott's charge down. The bounce of the ball. Has Dan Condon, sorry. And the skipper, Will Roach.
Is that Harry Wilson strolling around the backfield? A Terrace legend. A modern legend, of course.
And one of the comments you made before there, Nick, about that disruption at the breakdown. That's exactly what happens there. Bit of disruption.
Well, we're into stoppage time now. Full time it is. 39-12, the final score. Gregory Terrace, a resounding first up win for the 2018 season.
Yeah, look, I'd have to say, going through the players today, I think in the last 15 or 20 minutes, Glenn Vahu was really dominant on the left-hand side, and he gave Denver Taylor an absolute nightmare of an afternoon. So what about, who's your pick of the match today? What do you think?
Oh, I think I'll really struggle to pick out a name from a hat. I think this Terrace performance was so solid from 1 to 15. I suppose the easiest candidate for me would be Will Roach, who is once again everywhere, but it wasn't a stand-up performance by his own lofty standards. So maybe I'll just have to, I'll settle with who you picked, Michael.
So look, 39-12, a little bit of a blowout by the end of the day, but both teams held their heads up high today on State High's Old Boys Day in the Coliseum. What a wonderful... My name is Michael Chettle. Nick Dovanese, thank you very much for, you are, the most knowledgeable person of GPS Rugby. It's been wonderful working with you this afternoon. So, mate, we'll be back next week and looking forward to it.
Michael Chettle, thank you so much. To the audience, Double Take Sports this week, it's been such a pleasure of ours to bring you another round of GPS Rugby, commentated live and free here from the Coliseum at Brisbane State High School in South Brisbane. We'll catch you next week with another fully produced match. Until then, we bid you good evening.